Hello dear fans. Countries of the Middle East and their features. In the modern world, the phrase, the countries of the Middle East, has become a stable expression. First of all, this is due to the unstable political situation in this region. The media constantly informs us about the conflicts, wars, and terrorist attacks taking place in these countries. In this article, we will try to understand the peculiarities and pressing problems of the countries of the Middle East. The Middle East. The concept of the Middle East has a long history. Its meaning has been changed and refined many times. This is mainly due to changes in the global political situation. The term itself was coined by the military. English General Thomas Gordon first used the phrase, the Middle East, in his speech at the beginning of the 20th century, when deciding on the safety of the transport route between Great Britain and India. Almost at the same time, this term was introduced into circulation in the United States, after the publication in 1902 of the article, The Persian Gulf and International Relations, by the American military Alfred Thayer Mahana. After that, the tradition of the English phrase, Middle East, literally Middle East, translated into Russian as Middle East, was formed. In this regard, curiosities often happened with the exact translation of this term. Russian politicians sometimes used the word neighbor in the context of the political interests of the USSR, or Russia. Geographical position of the countries of the Middle East. The Middle East covers a vast area of Western Asia and northeastern Africa. The region includes the Red and Mediterranean Seas, as well as the Persian Gulf. In the south, it is separated from the countries of Central Africa by the Sahara Desert. In the north, it borders on the Black and Caspian Seas. In the east, the countries of the Middle East extend to the Indian subcontinent, and in the west to the Aegean Sea. Egypt and the Arab countries located to the east of it, as well as Israel, Turkey, and Iran, as a rule, are considered countries of the Near and Middle East. In some cases Pakistan, Afghanistan, Cyprus and the North African states, Tunisia, Libya, Algeria, Morocco, and Sudan are added to them. The main population of the countries of the Middle East, Arabs, Jews, Persians, Turks, Armenians, Kurds, Azerbaijanis, Georgians, and Assyrians. The countries of the Middle East include the United Arab Emirates, Israel, Jordan, Iraq, Egypt, Sudan, Syria, Lebanon, Oman, Palestinian territories, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Kuwait, Qatar, Bahrain, Cyprus, Turkey. The climate in these countries is most often very hot and dry, but there are large rivers and lakes, the water from which is used to irrigate the soil. The modern geographical map of this region began to form back in 1922 after the collapse of the Ottoman Empire. In 1923, the Turkish Republic was formed, as well as the territories of Syria, Lebanon, Palestine, Iraq, Transjordan. At first, these lands were subordinate to France and Great Britain. Only in 1930 to 1940 did they become independent. The next period of development of the new states of the Middle East fell on 1960 to 1970, when the former British patrons in the Arabian Peninsula gained their independence. At present, the countries of the Middle East are so divided and contradictory that it is very difficult to find a holistic view for them. Many people associate them with the Arabs and the desert with camels. But it was in the Middle East that three monotheistic religions arose: Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. Now the Islamic religion is professed by most of the inhabitants of these states, with the exception of Israel. Unfortunately, Islam, or rather its directions, is a frequent basis for wars and conflicts. Political features of the countries of the Middle East. Today in the countries of the Middle East there is a very unstable political situation. The increased conflict potential of these states is expressed in the constant threat of the manifestation of hostilities. If we analyze this fact in more detail, then it applies to the following countries. 1. The constant conflict in relations between Israel and the Arab countries. 2. The state borders in this region, defined in the colonial period, as well as religious differences, cause armed clashes and conflicts between the Arab countries themselves, Iraq, Kuwait, Iraq, Iran, South and North Yemen. 3. Political instability in some countries of the region causes social unrest in more backward countries, the issue with the Iraqi Kurds in Yemen, the problems of the Taliban in Afghanistan. 4. Some of the states in the region are considered international outcasts because of their support for terrorism. UN sanctions are applied against such countries: Iran, Iraq. Features of the economic situation of the countries of the Middle East. The main wealth of the Middle East, providing a constant flow of funds, is the world's oil production. Every year, at least 3 billion tons of oil are produced here, which is more than 30% of world production. The Middle East supplies 50% of world oil exports and about 26% of petroleum products. The largest oil reserves are in Saudi Arabia, followed by Iraq, the United Arab Emirates, Kuwait and Iran. These 5 states have more than 90% of oil reserves. The rest are in Qatar, Libya, Oman, Algeria, Egypt, Yemen, Syria, and Tunisia. Such a significant economic potential is the main component of the foreign trade of these countries, and allows the most developed countries to reach a high socioeconomic level. The population in the states of the Near and Middle East is 270 million people. The gross national product is approximately $1.5 trillion, which is approximately $7,000 per person per year. All states of the Middle East can be conditionally divided into 3 groups. 1. Least developed countries, whose income is less than $1,000 per year per person: Afghanistan, Yemen. 2. Countries with an average level of economic development, whose income per person per year ranges from $2,000 to $10,000: Oman, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Iran, Iraq, Libya, Syria, Egypt. 3. Highly developed countries in which the income per person per year is more than $10,000: Kuwait, UAE, Israel, Cyprus, Qatar. Despite the meager natural potential of most of the countries of the Middle East, some of them have mountains and gorges, seas and rivers, lakes and waterfalls. Such countries are trying to use their natural potential for the development of tourism. Here, the construction of hotels and entertainment complexes is underway at a tremendous pace. New routes and tourist routes are being laid. Of the countries closest to Russia, these are Georgia, Armenia, and Azerbaijan, with a common culture and language for us, without a sharp change in the time zone and climate, with a lot of interesting sights and excellent cuisine. Then Turkey, with its sea, natural beauty, architectural monuments and services. Tourists, and especially pilgrims who want to touch the origins of civilization, go to Israel, Jordan or Lebanon. Beach lovers will also be satisfied. They have the opportunity to visit the whole variety of seas and beaches: the Red Sea for lovers of the underwater world, for those who want to bask in the sun and swim; the beaches of the Mediterranean Sea, and those who want to relax and improve their health, go to the Dead Sea. In the countries of the Middle East, there are a large number of sites and attractions that are of historical value, and are included in the UNESCO World Heritage List. Thanks for watching.